Psalms 92, verse 12 to 13. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. Before we go any further, I want to make you realize this one word. Shall is a word of proclamation. Shall is a word that has declarations to it, that it cannot be undone. Shall is not maybe. It's not maybe if possibly might happen. It is a word of definite. It will happen whether you like it or not. So every time in the word of God, when you hear the word shall, it is a promise in itself. It's a declaration. It's a stamp put on that word to declare that it shall happen. There is no maybes. There's no perhaps it shall happen, a doubt. It is a word that has no doubts in it, but proclaims that it shall surely happen. It's placed on the willpower of making sure that it shall happen. It's a word that can be used to also declare faith. So when God is saying it shall happen, they shall flourish, surely they shall flourish, because he has placed his will and all of his might to declare such a word. In his word here, God has declared his children, the Christians, to be like palm trees. A palm tree does not struggle to survive, even in the desert or even anywhere, because it always flourishes. So as a child of God, we should exhibit those characteristics of a palm tree that does not suffer, or it just flourishes. It does not strive too hard to try and make itself survive. We need to pray to cultivate these characters of a palm tree. Palm trees survive in all kinds of weathers, unless if cut down, of course, but they survive in all kinds of storms. Palm trees are literally storm survivors. Palm trees are drought resistant. They literally survive any adverse desert condition. They survive through everything, every storm that comes in life. Why is this, you ask? Why they survive through all this? It's because this tree has a long tapped root system. It goes right underground to sources, to the right sources to search for water. So just as us as Christians being compared to this palm tree, we can withstand any storms that come in life, any adverse conditions that we deal with in our lives, as long as one condition: if we stay under the word of God, as long as we are rooted in the word of God, grounded in the water which is the word of God. Because when the word of God is within us, it will cause us to stand despite any pressures, any trial, tribulations, or any prevailing negative conditions that we deal with in life. Because as we get deeper in the word of God, the more we are fed, the more we are nourished, the more we are strengthened, the more you grow tall and strong. But for a tree or any living thing to flourish, it needs to be nourished, and you cannot flourish without being nourished. But only as children of God, we need to be nourished in the word of God for us to flourish. Without nourishment, you cannot flourish. So we need to be nourished in the word of God. We need to be fed, to be like these palm trees. For them to flourish and withstand any trials or tribulations is because they were nourished from the beginning, even throughout. For it to grow to be what it is and to withstand all those things is because it's constantly being nourished for it to stand and for it to live and for it to flourish. Because as children of God, nothing in us, nothing about us is going to wither even when the heat comes. Because our roots are spread out. They are tapping from the water, which is the word of God. And as Jeremiah 17 verse 7 till 8 says, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, and whose hope is in the Lord, for he shall be like a tree planted in the waters, which spreads out its root by the rivers, and will not fear when the heat comes, but its leaves will be green, and will not be anxious in the year of drought, nor will cease from yielding fruit." So Jeremiah says here, as children of God, we can never cease to not bear any fruit, because we are tapped into the water, which is the word of God. We are continuously being nourished and standing hold and always bearing fruit and always staying green and alive. But there's this also amazing thing about palm trees. Palm trees always go upright. They never turn left, right, center, going down. They're always upright. And they go upright to great and mighty heights that you cannot avoid to unsee it when you see it. There's so much beauty and elegance about that tree. And the same thing is being called for us as children of God, to stand tall in great heights and to stand with such beauty and elegance that even the world cannot try and unsee us, because a palm tree, you always see it. And as Christians, we are called to live upright like the palm tree, not going left nor right, not being shaken or anything happen to us and we fall for it. We're called to live this life on a daily basis. And God is our model of righteousness, and He is the standard of righteousness, uprightness. And going upwards and being upright also shows us that we are not only left, right, center focused, but we are heaven focused, kingdom focused, because we know that we are to live upright and withstand all the storms that come in our lives. So, child of God, I pray for you. May you be upright like the palm tree in every season of your life. For as Ecclesiastes says, there's times and seasons for every living thing on the earth. So even if it's time of sorrow or times of gladness, may you withstand and be upright and being right and being watered and fed and nourished by the word of God, because it is a thing that will make you flourish into what God has called you to be. May you be blessed. God bless you.